So we'll do the function sum again, and I ask you to learn this function thoroughly, and I will ask this, and you have to write this problem without looking at the problem. Okay, so but before even I ask you, I will repeat this problem again because this is very important in all the projects, in all the interviews. Sorry. So we are creating a function. So I have told you to, when we have to create a closure, and whenever we have to create a closure, we have to create a function, and we have to return a function. So so let me go through the basics a little bit again, so that those who are new, or those who did not attend the last lecture, they can understand it. So let's say if I have a function A, and I do console.log A, and then I return a function. When I return a function, and this function is saying console.log of B. Okay, so initially it's a, and then there's a return function. So to call this function, I can say A, and since when I invoke the A, I get this return as a function. Since I get return as a function, so I can invoke it again. So first time when I invoke it, I get this return function. That means this is a function, and then since it return is a function, I can invoke it again. So I get console.log of A and console.log of B. Let's say if I have a function, it returns B, and then again it returns a function. Third time it is returning a function. Here it is saying console.log of C. So if I run this function A, I invoke the A. When I invoke the A, what I'm getting? I'm getting this return function. So that means I can invoke it again. When I invoke it again, I get this part. That means I'm getting return function again. Since I'm getting return function, I can invoke it third time. Then I'm getting A, B, and C. All three are coming together. What will happen if I invoke it fourth time? When I invoke it fourth time, I'm getting error, because after this last function, I'm not returning any function. So fourth time it is giving me error. Okay, so this way, so the main purpose of this exercise was, whenever I return a function, I can invoke it again. Whenever I return function again, I can invoke it again. Invoke means I can run it again. And how to run it? By putting the parenthesis. Now let's do the function sum. So function sum is something like that. This function will be, let me clear it. So this function sum will be called like this, sum. Then I will pass one parameter, and then I will pass two parameters. Since I have passed two parameters, and then I invoke the third one. So since I have passed two parameters, it should give me the result of 3. Okay, so if I pass sum 1, then I 2, then I pass 3, and then I pass semicolon, again empty parenthesis, it should give me the answer of 6. So this is the purpose of this exercise which we are trying to do. Now sum is taking one parameter. Since it is taking one parameter, so I will pass this parameter A here. Okay, let's talk about this part only. When I'm calling this sum of 1, I'm passing sum of A here. And what I will do, I will return, since after this I am expecting another parenthesis. That means I should have another function here, because I should be able to call this, I should be able to invoke this function again. So I should have return function. I will name it as inner sum. Okay, and it will take this parameters, two number. So let it put the B. Okay, so initially I have A and then I have B. This is A and this is B. And let's return this function. Okay, so I'm returning this function. So let's see what will happen. I will do console.log of A is A, and then here I'm saying console.log of B is here B. Okay, let me remove this first. So what will happen if I call the sum A? This console will be printed A is 2, 1. I'm passing here 1. So it will say console.log of A is 1. Then it will return this function. Okay, that means I can invoke it again. When I invoke it again, I will pass another parameter here 2. When I pass 2 here, it will say console.log of B is B, and B is 2 here. And it will return again the function this function. That means if I pass 3, it will run again B is 3, and it will return again the function. Then I can pass another time. I can invoke this function again, because every time I am returning a function. What is inner sum? Inner sum is nothing but this function. So when I pass 4, again this B will call, and it will say B is 4, and again it will return a function. That means I can invoke it again. So I can invoke it in multiple n number of times till I want. So let's run this and see. So when I run this, first time it's saying A is 1, then it is going always in the B. Second time it is saying B is 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is how it is working. Now what I want to do is, I want some way that it should end. Right now if I run it, see, in the end also I am getting a function. I don't want to end in the function. I want to end somewhere. Okay, so let's do it again. I have a function sum which partially takes one variable, and I'm doing console.log A is A, and here I'm creating a variable called as total. Initially I'm assigning this total as A. So initially what is the total? A, and I pass this total into this function. So this total is a closure, and here I am saying total is equal to whatever the value of total is plus whatever value user will pass, that is the B. And then I will say console.log of total is total. And then I return the function B. So that means first time we will go here and we will initialize total with the A value, that is the 1. And second time, whatever value I pass in the B, it will be added to the total, and I return a function. So if I pass sum of 1, then I pass 2. So initially A will be 1, and then it will return a function. This will return a function. So I can invoke it again. When I invoke this again, we are passing B as a 2, and the total will become 1 plus 2, 3. But it will return the function again. So we can do multiple times the total. So right now A is coming 1, and then B is coming 2, which is this 2, and I'm getting total of 3, and I get return of this function again. Since I get return of function, I could have called again multiple times. Like I could have called this third time also. Now you will see I'm getting A is 1, B is 2, and I'm getting total of 3. Once I get total of 3 here, it is returning a function. Since this is returning a function, I can invoke it again with this 3. So when I invoke this again with the 3, I'm getting total of 6 because it is added to the main total. and again I get this function. So it never stops. I can call this to infinite number of times and it will give me the total of all the numbers. But we need some way to stop that. We need that right now I'm getting this function, but we need some way that it should not return me the function. It should return some total, this total. So whenever there is end, I should return this total, not this function. So to do that, I will change this function a little bit. I will say if I get this value of b. So if I get the value of b, sorry, I got 1 second. So what I am trying to do, if I am passing this empty in the end, whenever I will pass empty in the end, I will return the total. Otherwise, I will return the function. So that there should be some way I should end this problem. I should give the total to the user. I should not give the function again and again and again till the infinite time. So we should have some way where I can end it. So what I have thought, I have thought that if I pass empty one in the last, then I will give the total. Otherwise, I will give the function, this inner sum function. So here I will check if b is present, then I will add everything to the total and I will return the function. And if b is not present, then I will return the total. I don't want to return the function. So if I pass b here and here, I am getting the function and I am also appending to the total. But since in the last one, I am not passing the b, and since b is not there, I will return the total. So here the result will come as a total. Let me delete this console.log. Okay, so let's add this one. Okay, some error in the unidentified. Okay, so because of this if condition, it is giving me the error. Let me delete it again and run it again. Wait, this was a syntax error. Okay, let me run it again. So what is happening when I am passing sum of 1? It is adding that 1 to the total, and this part is returning this function. Then what I am passing 2. So 2 goes inside here and it checks if 2 is there. Yes, 2 is there. I append the total with the previous value of total and the new value, that is 2. So 1 plus 2 will become 3. And then I return a function again. Since this part is a function, I can invoke it again like this. Now I am invoking it again with the 3. So I am passing 3 here, and 3 is some value, so it goes into this if block and it adds into the total. Once it adds into the total, it returns the function, this function, inner sum is this function. So it returns the function. So this part is also a function. When this part is a function, I can invoke it again. I invoke it now without the b. Since b is not there, I go here and return the total, and I'm getting 6 here. So now I can go to infinite time and add the total, but in the end I have to fire the empty one so that it adds all the number and give me the result of 42. So this line of code, but we can call it infinite times because of the return of the function, and that is why we have used the closure, because of the closure we are able to use this function in my code. Now there is one problem with this code. What will happen if I pass 0? So 0 is a number which I can add, but here what will happen when I pass the 0 in the b, if condition considers 0 as a false value, so it will go here and return the total. So we are not getting the proper, we are getting some error like this because it considers 0 also as not a proper case, so it goes into the total when I run the 0. So to fix the 0, I will change the function Here I will say if B or I will say B is equal to 0. So if I have B or if B is 0, I will add it to the total. Otherwise, I will return the total. So now if I call sum 1, 0, 2, and in the end I will put the empty parenthesis, I am getting 3 answer. So this is how we fix the 0 value. If I am passing the 0 also, it should work. That is what it is. Okay, let me put it in somewhere notepad. One second, let me put it in the notepad and then. Okay, so those who have attended the Friday lesson, I explained this thoroughly. Today I revise this, and if you are not able to understand this problem, you can ask me, then I will be better able to answer you the right solution. Is this part clear, or there is problem in understanding of this part? Okay, now I will do similar problem, and I will ask the question how to do that one. So we did the problem of the sum. Let's do same problem and do the multiply. Okay, so you have to help me in doing this problem. So first I will create a function multiply, and here I will take the parameter here. So now what will be the first line of this code? What should I put as the first line? Okay, so first line will be, I have to create a variable which will act as a create a variable which will act as a closure and which will retain the total value. So we need some variable, any variable you can give. Total, I will put total, and I will initialize it with a. So I initialize it with value a, which is passed. Okay, now I have to, what I have to do now? I created a variable. To use the closure, I have to return a function. So let me return a function. Okay, let me return a function because closure needs a return function. But why I should give the name of this function? Why I put inner multiply? Tell me why I put the name of inner multiply. Why cannot I write without name, anonymous? Why I put the name here? Why I put the name here without, I could have done without name, but why I am putting the name? Okay, since I have to go to infinite loop, since I have to go to infinite number, I have to return this again. So since I have to go this infinite time, so I have to return this function again after this function is done. So I have to name it. If I don't name it, how will I return it? Anonymous function cannot be return it. So I will say I put the name on this function because I have to return it later. Okay, so this is the reason I put the name. Okay, now here I pass the value b. Now here there are two conditions. If I have value b or if I don't have value b, I'll put in the else. So if I have value b or b is equal to 0, that means if I have something in the b, then I will do something. What I will do, I'll show you. Okay, do something if I have b. So if I pass something in the b, so if I have multiply, if I pass 1 or 2 or 3, then I will do something. So I will say do something 1 or do something this. Okay, and if b is not passed, then what I will do? If b is not passed, then what I will do? If b is not passed, then what is my aim? What I will do? I will return the total value because I want to end this function. I want to end this problem. So I will return the total. So if b is not passed, my only aim is return total, so that I can return this total value whatever I have done it. But if b is passed, I want to do calculation. So what I have to do? I have to do calculation. And what else I have to do? I have to return this inner multiply function. So if b is there, first I have to do the calculation and append the total with the value. But if b, and after doing this total updation, I will return this inner multiply function. So let's do the calculation. So I'll say total is equal to total into, now I'll do multiply, total into b, whatever b is passed. And once that total is done, I will return this function. Why I am returning this function? So that I can call it again. So that I can call it multiple times. Okay. So let's see if this is working fine. So 1 into 2 is 2. 2 into 3 is 6. So I'm getting correct value. Let's do one more thing, one more time. Okay. So if I'm doing 4, 3 into 3, 2 into 3, 6, 6 into 4, 24. I'm getting 24. So this is how we did the multiply. So what we did, we create a variable to use as a closure, and then we created the inner function because we know in the closure we have to create another return function, and this return function is returning a function if we satisfy something, and it is returning the total if we don't satisfy that thing. So this is the simple logic here which we have put, and this way we can take the use of the closure and we can do the multiply also. So right now you have to write down this function in your notebook so that you can remember it at later time. I'll give you 2 minutes to write it down. Okay, so I will just revise this closure part. So in JavaScript, there is an important concept called the closure, and we did last week, whole week, we did about the closure. So those who are new, they can watch my old lectures, which will be available after 2 weeks. And you can watch my all closure lectures to understand what exactly the closure. So just now I will give you template of the closure so that you know that how the closures are created. The closures are created by creating a function, let's say f, and in that function we need one variable. I can say a equal to 1. I can say var b equal to 1. We need only one variable, but here I am putting two variables for you to understand. So I created two variables inside this function, but at least one variable is needed, and then I return another function. And this function will take use of this variable. I will say console.log a is a. Since this function is created as a child of this function, so it can access the variable a, and I put the variable a here. I am accessing the a here in this function. I can also say a plus plus, so it will give one more. It will increase the a and it will give me the result that way. Or I can say a plus plus. Okay, so since a is created here as a 1, whenever I run this, I will get a plus plus value. Now, since I am only using the variable a inside this function, so the a is called the closure variable of this function, but b is not called the closure variable because b is not used inside this function. So this whole structure is called a closure. So whenever someone asks you to create the closure, you should have this thing in the mind that there should be a function and the return should be the function. And this return function should be able to use one of the variable created inside in the parent function. So in the parent function, we created the two variables, but we are using only one variable inside this return function. So this b is not called the closure, but a is called the closure variable of this function. Now this function, I created f as this function. Now I will take use of this function. So I will create a variable n and I will call this function. Since I will call this function, it is a return function. Yeah, that is the closure. So it returns a function. So when I call the f as when I invoke the function f, I get the return function. That means n is a function and n can be invoked. And when I invoke the n, you will see I will get the value of a, and then I will do it again. It is appending to 2. Then I will do n again. It is appending to 3. So every time I am calling n, it is appending the value of a. Whereas a is created in this parent function and it is not created in the n function, but when I run the n function, I am able to access the a variable in the n function. So this is basically the idea. The more detail we talked earlier, so just remember this template, and if you want to understand more closure, you will see the closure will be available publicly on 9th August. So after 9th August, okay, so after 9th August, you can see that this closure. So go through all the closure videos to understand in better way. Okay, so just now we did the multiply problem. Now the next task is to create a subtraction problem. Similarly, create a subtraction problem, but don't look at the multiply problem. Just create without looking at the multiply problem and see if you can do this problem. So now the task is create a function subtract and create in the same way as we did multiply, the same way as we did the sum, and try to do this problem without looking at the previous problem. See if you can do this without looking. And once you're done, just paste it in the chat so that I can take a look. Try to avoid looking at the multiply problem. If you have not understood the multiply, just revise the multiply in your mind again, read it again and again, and once you're comfortable, then try to do this function subtract. But don't look at the multiply problem when you do subtract. So I hope those who have written the function subtract have written without looking at it. Okay. So just don't copy paste it. Try to write down every line of code without copy paste. Because in interview you have to write down without copy pasting it. So I told you this some problem was asked in my interview, and this is the only problem they asked me, and all others were small questions. So only I solved this immediately and very confidently with the reasons which I told you, and because of that I got this project in my current company. So this is very important problem. That's why I'm saying to understand it thoroughly, because many companies will ask similar problem, and if you can solve it immediately, then you will get the job. So this is the only problem based on which I got the job. So this is a job earning problem. So if you know the sum problem thoroughly with the reasons which I put in the comments, then you are good to go. because if you got the same problem in your interview, you will be able to pass it. But you have to understand it, do it multiple times so that you will be thorough in doing it. Yeah, so many people have answered it correctly, but I hope you have done it without looking at the multiply one. So there is another one, division one, which you can do it later time and show me tomorrow. I will not ask that now. Okay, let's move to other topic of this one only. Okay, one thing before I go further. So everybody is waiting for the React class. Okay, many people have told me when are you going to start the React class. So if you want to really learn the React, I will start that React class after my JavaScript class is done. So I will do after JS class is done. It may take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, I don't know. There is a lot of things to be done in JavaScript. After that only I will start the React class again. But I have done last year my React class, and you are free to go to my old lectures on the React, and if you want you can learn from those video tutorials. I will give you the link in the Telegram group if you want to really run the React class. Okay, so I will not do React now. I will do React again after I am done with the JavaScript. But if you really want to learn the React again and you don't have time to wait till I complete the JavaScript, then you can go my old videos. I have taken last year the React class. You can learn the React in that class. I will give you the link in the Telegram group. Now what is React? React is 90% of code in the React is JavaScript, which we are doing it now. So if you don't know the JavaScript, 90% of React you will not be able to understand it. So 90% of React is having the pure JavaScript code. So we have to understand that 90% of code in React we will be doing simple JavaScript, which we are learning now. Only 10% of the React is solely of React. And if you are doing Angular, 10% is Angular, 90% is JavaScript. So anyhow, you have to learn this 90% of JavaScript code, which we are doing it now. So without this code, even if you learn React thoroughly, you won't be able to do it correctly if you don't know this 90% of JavaScript code. Because whole React is JavaScript. And most of the code, you should know the basics of JavaScript, which we are doing currently to complete this React project. Even if we go Node is JavaScript. So 90% is JavaScript and 10% is solely of the Node.js. Similarly, React Native. You have to understand the JavaScript before you even touch the React Native. So everywhere, whatever you take, you should know the JavaScript code, and only 10% of React code is needed. Otherwise, everything is JavaScript. So if you have mastered JavaScript, then doing the React is very easy. Doing the Angular is easy. Doing the Node is very easy. Doing the React Native is easy. So that's the reason I'm saying concentrate on the JavaScript class, then rest thing will be automatically done easily when we get that point. Okay, let's move to the closure again. We are not done closures yet. So we started closure last week. We are still in the closures. Let's do one more problem which was asked in my interview, and I want to show you that thing. Okay, let's do it. So let me do some basics for that one, and then I will do that problem. Okay. So some basics for our new problem. In JavaScript, we create the variables using the var keyword, and we give the name of the variable. Maybe I can give obj or name, and this variable can be a string, like this variable can be string like jack, or this variable can be integer or numeric by putting without quotation, by putting something 18, so age is 18, so this is the numeric. Or I can create a variable called as x equal to true, that is true or false, this is called a boolean. I can also create variable as an array, which we will do in detail later. We have done some part in a few days back. Or I can create a variable using the object. Object we can do by curly bracket, like this curly bracket. Okay, and this object has nothing but a key value pair. One second. One second. Ah, 1 second. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about this object. Okay, let's do some basics of this object. So if someone is in hurry to go, they can sit 5-10 minutes more only. I'll just complete this basic, and if basic is not done, we will do that problem tomorrow, but at least let's do some basics of this object. So this is the object. Object means it has the key value pair. I can create a key, and then I can give the value, and value can be anything. Then if I want to create another key, for example, I can create a key name, and I will give Jack. I can create a key age, I will give the value. So when I create the object, it is in the format of key and value, and the value can be of any type. It can be string, it can be another object, it can be numeric, it can be boolean, it can be function, it can be array, anything. So value can be anything, and we create a key value pair. Okay, so let's do some manual thing in one of the object. Okay, so let's do some manual thing in this object. So I have a string, for example, str equal to mango is king of fruits. Okay, this is the string. Okay, I am doing some manual stuff, and I will show. I am not doing any programmatic stuff now. I will just show some manual stuff which we use in the object. So for example, I want to see how many M are there in this string. So for example, I will say M. Initially I will go first letter M, and I will say it's 1. And in the second time I will go A, I get A. I will say A is 1. Third time I will go N is 1. So I will count. M is 1, so I will putting 1. A, N, G, then I'll go G. And G is 1. Then I'll go O. O is 1. I will ignore the space. I don't need a space. Then I'll go I. It is 1. Then I'll go S. S is 1. Then I'll go K. K is 1. Then I'll go I. Since I is already there, so I will increase the value of I to 2. Then I'll go n. N is also there, so I will increase the value of 2 here. Okay. Then I will go G. Oh, G is also there. So let's say increase the value of the G to 2. Then we have O. O is also there. I will increase to 2. Then I have F. I don't see F, so I will create F as 1. So then I have R. I don't see R, so I'll say R as 1. Then I will see U. I don't see U, so I will add 1 U. Then I have I again. So I is already there. So I'll increase it to 3. Okay, I missed the F. I will add 2 F. Right, I missed the F. Then again I have R, U. Then I have I already put 3. Then I have T. T is 1. Then I have S. S is 2. So who is the winner? Which letter is the winner? I is the winner because it is 3. So I is the winner, which is equal to 3. So what I did, I took the string, I went through each letter and I create an object, and in the object I check if the letter is there. If not there, I will put it 1, and if it is there, I increase it to appropriate number. So this is the logic I put in this object. So this is the sample object, how we use this object in the problems. So a lot of problems will come. One of the problem is this, which I showed you now. I did this manually, but we will do this programmatically at some point in the future. But I wanted to show you how I'm using this object. I will give you one more example of object, which I will be using in my future problems. Okay, let's do one more problem. Okay, here you go. So if I pass two variable, var a equal to 1, and I pass var b equal to 2. Now I create one object, var z equal to object. Now what I will do, since I have passed 1 and 2, I will create the key of 1 underscore 2. Okay, I created the key 1 underscore 2 because I passed 1 underscore 2, and I will give the value. Value will be 1 plus 2, that is 3. Okay, so let's say if I pass again another one with a as a 4 and b as a 5. So what will be the key in this case? What will be the key in this case? 4 underscore 5. So let's see. I will take the first answer who has given correctly. So the key is 4 underscore 5. What will be the value? What will be the value for this? 9. So I'll take 9. So let's take one more example. I will pass 3 and 6. What will be the value key for this one? 3 underscore 6, right. And what will be the value? Value of 9, right. Now after some time I will pass this again. For example, this one. I will pass this 1 and 2 again. When I pass 1 and 2 again, I will see that 1 and 2 key already exist. 1 and 2 key already exist. So what I will do, I will return the value from here. I will not calculate it. I will not do addition of these two. I will not do addition of these two. I will just pass the result from here, from this object. Okay. So right now this addition is very simple. 1 plus 2, 3, everybody knows, and it's a very simple calculation. But consider, instead of this addition, there is a very big complex formula is there. with integration, with derivative, with many things. And these are only the two parameters we pass it. And we do lot of calculation. So every time I want to put this row, it takes, let's say, 10 minutes to process that calculation. But first time it will take, let's say, 10 minutes. Right now it's addition, so it is fast. But think about a complex thing. It takes a lot of time and it gives me the result of 3 after the complex calculation. So next time when I get 1 and 2, I will not do that calculation. I will not do big calculation again. Why I will not do? Because I have already done that calculation and I put the value 3 in it. I already done the calculation for this and put the 9 value in it. So next time if I pass these two parameters, I will not do any calculation. I will just go in this object and I will take this key and I will return this value. The next time if you are passing this one, I will not do calculation. I will check if this key exists, 4 and 5. If this key exists, I will return this value immediately. I will not do my calculation which may take 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so this is the caching kind of thing. We are saving our time by putting everything in this object. And we know that key is there, and since this key exists, so we get the value immediately for that one. Now you tell me, if I pass this one, will I do calculation? Yes or no? Will I do calculation? No, we will not do the calculation. Why we will not do? Because it is already in my object. I already passed this, so I will not do calculation again for this 2. Let's say if I pass like this, 4 and 8. Will I do calculation again now? Yes, we will do calculation because 4 and 8 does not exist in the here in the key. So we will do 4 and 8 again and we will create another row after the calculation, and this is called 4 underscore 8, and I will give the value of 12. Okay. So this concept of doing the calculation again if it is not there and not doing it if it is there is called memoization, okay, something like that. Okay, I exactly don't remember the pronunciation, but something is related to memoization, something like this, similar to this one. Okay, I'll check again exactly what is the spelling. So just don't worry about the spelling. So that means memoization. This is the spelling maybe. Okay, I'll check it again and let you know exact spelling. So we will use the closure. Tomorrow I'll do, not today. We will use the closure to solve the following problem. That is, whatever I am creating this object, we will do with the help of closure. And this one also was asked to me in one of the interview. How will you achieve memoization using the closure? So they don't say you have to use a closure. This is something I have to come up with my mind that I have to use a closure. Interview person will never say to use the closure. He will only say just use this memoization, but you have to think how to use the closure to do that one. So just he told me the problem and I used the closure myself and it worked well, and he was impressed with that solution. So we will do this again tomorrow. If you have any question, yeah, memoization, right? One person has written how I written the exact spelling. Memoization, right. Okay, so this is the right spelling of that one. Okay, so we will do the closure tomorrow using this concept, and we'll see how to solve this problem. Any questions?